You provide a definition for the word woman.
Can I provide a definition?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah.
I can't.
You can't?
Welcome back to Wake Up America. Remember that? Well, the well-known contention between Senator Marsha Blackburn and now Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson over the definition of a woman earlier this year is now back in the spotlight as Cambridge Dictionary updated its definition of a woman to include anyone who identifies as female regardless of their sex at birth. This is dictionary.com has announced its word of the year is woman. So let's bring in two women to talk about it. Florida mom and host of the Keisha King podcast, Keisha King, and mother and president and founder of Parents Defending Education, Nicole Neily. All right, ladies, thank you so much for joining us. This move comes in order to include transgender people in the definition of the word woman. Keisha, what is your immediate reaction to this? I know what mine is, but I want to know what yours is.
Well, I do mind it. I find it, you know, we're always being accused of trying to erase the LGBTQ population. And I find that this is trying to literally erase biological women. And so that is why these people are so dangerous to society, the people who think like this. And unfortunately, many of those people are teaching our children in schools. And I don't know about you, but sending your child to school and having them come out and not being able to define the word is problematic for me. And that's why we push so hard for school choice, the work that we're doing with Freedom Works.
Absolutely. I agree with you. Yeah, I mean, in my kids' school, they get to say what their pronoun is. That's how I actually learned about what pronouns were a couple of years ago, because my daughter came home from high school and said, yeah, we're talking about our pronouns. Nicole, similar marks were made for a man, including a similar definition to be inclusive. Does this seem to be adding to this woke agenda? Because as Keisha mentioned, kids are going to school. And remember, we went and we learned biology, the difference between a man and woman. This is very different now.
Yes, it's confusing for children. It's not age inappropriate, or it's not age appropriate in many cases. And let's take a step back. Words matter, right? This is why our children are being forced and compelled to use the pronouns against their personal preferences, against their value system, against that of their family. And they're told that it's hateful to not use the correct word. And so to gaslight families and children, force them to use words that don't correspond with the definition, and then wonder why kids are confused and doing poorly in school, to me, seems like a recipe for disaster. It's little wonder that families are upset.
Yeah, Keisha, dictionary.com has announced its word of the year as woman, defining only as, quote, an adult female person. They chose it after the word received double the search volume this year. Why do you think that is?
Because it's talked about all the time, and it's in everything that we do. It's in the corporations, it's in schools, it's in higher learning. It's everywhere. We can't escape it. And I would suggest that everybody go and get a hard copy of a real hard copy dictionary, because there are going to be more changes coming if we continue down this road. And I want to see more women stand up and say, no, as a biological woman, we exist and we deserve to be properly stated in the dictionary.
Yeah, Keisha, you brought up a good point, because that's initially what I thought about when I heard this new definition, that essentially just erases, women. And we're taught to be proud of who we are, because we can have babies and there's things that men cannot do. The fact that they're now changing this definition, it actually baffles me, but I think you're right, Keisha, that we're going to see more things like this happen. Nicole, you're the founder of Parents Defending Education. We talked about this a little bit, but what do you think this new definition will lead to in the classroom? What are our kids going to continue to learn in the classroom, and what should we as parents do to prevent these types of woke, things being taught to our kids?
Well, we always encourage parents, look, the price of liberty is eternal vigilance. Keep an eye out. Know what your child is learning. We talk to many families who basically do what they call deep programming sessions at the end of the day. So figure out what your child's learning. Draw some lines in the sand. You don't have to be confrontational, but let your family know, or let your teachers know. To us, these are family decisions. These are things that we talk about. And I think the more families speak up, be it quietly, be it publicly, then it really lets administrators as well as teachers know, if you continue down this path, there will be trouble. And I think in many cases, they don't want that.
Yeah, I also think, though, too, as parents, moms, we may get nervous that if we do speak up, we're going to be censored and people will think, that we are the bad person. I know a lot of people are nervous about speaking up about certain things. Keisha, as a mom, does this change the way that you'll approach a conversation with your kids about gender identity and the dictionary as we try and keep up with the times?
No, because I teach my children to respect and love all people, but I also teach them to stand in truth. And you can lovingly tell someone the truth, because I don't think that it is kind or compassionate to lead people into something that that's not true. And the fact of the matter is that there are biological truths in men and women that cannot be erased. And we can lovingly tell people that, and we can also help people who are struggling with gender dysphoria or things like that. We can help them. But lying to them, and that is not compassion. That's not empathetic. And it's certainly not the way that I teach my children.
Keisha King, Nicole Neily, great moms. Thank you so much. Great conversation. And hope you have a happy holidays if we don't talk to you.